Seriously?
It's live now.
Mm.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is a scene for Empire of Thorns. Um, Kimberly and Soren um, wanted to bring some of the goings on that have been happening in the court lately to the attention of Queen Mir, um, Queen of the Autumn Court. So the Queen arranged for a meeting with them. They brought along with them Maurice Renard, the King Consort, to the Spring Court, um, because he was present during some of the concerns that they wish to address. The Queen's Paladin of Shadow, William, is there nearby. Dante can describe the throne room and where she is or where the meeting is taking place and stuff like that.
Okay. Um, for those of you who have not been to the Autumn Court's not in-season residence, it's located on Staten Island, on the site of the Willowbrook State School. Those of you who have some of you may remember that from the fact that Geraldo Rivera did an expose on it back in and made his name doing that. Essentially, it was also featured in the movie Cropsy, when they discussed the legendary killer that on Staten Island who may or may not have been based on several different killers, but one in particular that I'm not going to get into and all that stuff. Willowbrook State School is in an unbelievable state of disrepair at this point. And of course, at this time of year, the trees are skeletal. It's just, a really genuine, terrifying place to look at. Going into it's not a whole lot better. There is graffiti on several of the walls and such. There are vines that climb the outside. But perhaps more importantly, there's just an aura of foreboding and death that looms over the place. Once you enter inside the school itself, the Autumn Court's holdings and their actual throne room and such are actually located in a portion of the school that's in a hollow. So you do pass through into the hedge at one point, and now instead of being in an actual school, you are inside not an umbral, but a hedge reflection of the school itself. So things that were kind of creepy before are definitely even more so now. On this side, it is really, really dark and weird and twisted, and the arms of the hedge seem to reach out towards you, especially kind of out of the corner of your eye. You can almost see the branches of the hedge reaching out towards you. Of course, when you look back, nothing has changed. So, Mir will see you in the throne room, which is lit by flickering jack-o'-lanterns. And when you come in, the Lord Scrivener is at his usual position where you've been used to seeing him all throughout the autumn, sitting just to the right of the aisle in front of the throne itself. And Mir will actually already be in there. Mary Longbones, the Fool of the First Frost, is present as well, as she often is. And the Queen will nod to you and say, I give you greeting. Anthony, is Kimberly a member of the Autumn Court?
Yeah, she is.
Okay. So she nods towards Kimberly and Soren and says, I give you greeting, loyal vassals, and she looks to Maurice. I don't believe the two of you have met before.
They have. She
They
was
have?
present during the exorcism.
Okay.
There's not another person present because he needs to address something. By the way,
Okay. Who's that?
Andreas is here.
Okay. And she will say, and wait, I'm sorry, Andreas is a member of which court?
Yours. This one. He's the Magister of Nightmares.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay. And she will say to Maurice, and I give greeting to you in the name of your court, Maurice. I'm not sure exactly what we're doing, but I understand that there's been a problem.
He'll bow his head to her and nod. I believe that that your courtiers have some things to bring to light for you. And he'll look to Kimberly and Soren.
And she does likewise.
Andreas will hold his hand up, by the way, and he'll say, "Your Majesty, before it gets much further, I have something I wish to announce to you."
Yes, Andreas.
This is unrelated, but I figure while we are all here, it's unimportant that I tell you this.
Of course.
As you know, I am in the autumn of my life, and although I plan to serve the autumn until the very end, it's that unspoken, I am old enough that God only knows when that end will be.
Yeah.
I have selected Kimberly Ashland as my successor and apprentice, and I will train her as the next Magister of Nightmares.
She nods. She seems satisfied, and she says, "This pleases me, and I thank you for your forward thinking. May the weird have perhaps other plans for you." She smiles, and she says, "I hope that we'll still have the benefit of your service for quite some time to come, but if that should not happen, I appreciate that you have given us the gift of preparedness."
He'll grin, and he'll say, "That's your computer data.
What?
Your computer's making an echo."
My computer's making an echo?
Mhm.
Okay, hang on.
I'll say it well. Oh no, she needs to hear it.
Is that better?
Yeah. Usually what it is when it's making an echo is that you just have to move your lid a little bit.
Have to
But,
move the lid?
Yeah, what he'll say, well, I have yet to, although I have slowed, my lady, I have yet to still.
She smiles. And she will say, "Now, my lady Kimberly, I understand that you have a concern to address to me."
She'll bow deeply to the queen. Yes, my queen. Quite recently, at the, I'm not sure you were in attendance at the, when we met with King. She'll look to him. She'll look to, Queen.
She shakes her head.
Well, at this, meeting and gathering, there was someone who used to be a member of our court, Miss Iris Webb, publicly started defending a true fae.
Defending them how?
Making excuses for them and letting them know that their existence and that their ability, they can be sympathized with as human, Your Majesty.
Can you be more specific?
Kimberly looks at her. And, yes, quite specifically, um, the situation with Cade was that he wished to become human, and his fey nature had thusly started infecting the entirety of the court. We brought this attention to Miss Iris, and Miss Iris thought it was necessary to inform and let everyone know, all of the monarchs present, that not only did she know best, but she could tell without a shadow of a doubt that her actions and her defending his chaotic behavior was justified, prudent, and necessary.
Did her actions have any consequence for anyone? Her words?
It was said, out of character, what was the pledgement from the Autumn Court?
William Stars.
William Stars publicly reprimanded her in front of everyone.
And what did Mr. Star Eyes levy in terms of punishment?
He said that she was to get lessons from the Lord Scrivener on courtly etiquette.
That would be...
When punishment was... Sorry.
No, quite. Continue.
When punishment was levied, she decided to leave the room while punishment was given. Not exactly punishment, but why the contracts and pledges were being formed. She left. She couldn't stomach it. There's also the part, this one is far more interesting. She tilts her head. On 12th night, I was invited by my Lord Maurice and a few others to attend. During this event, it's more feasible for our kind to make transferals and switches between courts.
Okay.
I had no desire to make any requests except quite formally to express my interest in becoming an emissary for the Spring Court, if they'd have me. The question came as more of a shock when Miss Iris Weft started blaming the Autumn Court for all of her problems and misdeeds. She then thusly began to shit on the court and blame others for her misfortune and began to say that, and I quote, "If the Autumn Court doesn't want me, then I guess I'll leave."
How sad. Well, that is most unfortunate. And if she is happier serving the Court of Desire, it is understandable. Perhaps she's not wise enough to know true fear yet.
Perhaps if she didn't essentially publicly disrespect the Autumn Court.
Yeah. We shall have
I
to...
tell you... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's all right.
I apologize for my slow hand, but I say that if Lord Maurice and Lord Farran and Claudio were not present, she most certainly would have been dead.
She smiles. She says, "We greatly appreciate your passionate defense of our court. Your willingness to do service to us does you credit, and we are pleased that you have chosen to show such strength in our favor." She bows her head for a moment. She says, "People must be allowed their folly to a certain extent. It is difficult for us to... Sometimes it is difficult for us to bear the ignorance of those around us, especially those who ought to know better. I'm not certain that Ms. Weft needs a fatal redirection. But perhaps she must be given a lesson in respect."
My queen, if I may.
Of course.
She reaches into her satchel and pulls out a severed head.
Is it...
And
Sorry, go ahead.
she looks to Soren. This is an emissary from the Red City. He met to take myself, Soren, as well as Claudio back to the Red City as prisoners. We almost died tonight.
Her
And
expression...
she drops.
Sorry, go ahead.
She drops the severed head.
Her expression becomes very grave. No pun intended.
What happened? Will say.
There was combat. We were fighting very much so for our lives. Soren and I were in combat with this emissary. Soren, do you have the items?
We'll just calmly reach into his jacket. It's very odd because there wasn't any lumps in there, but he'll pull out all the I assume Kim was talking about all the trinkets and tokens that the guy had on him. He'll pull out a rather large bag, lay that at Mir's feet, kind of open up the cloth. It's all rolled up. And Johnny, I forget what all was on this dude, so
It was.
can you help us with it?
It was 5 blades made of obsidian that would basically shatter and break and not be able to be used as like evidence, as like trifles, and a trifle basically that if you put it on your eyes, it would allow you to see in the dark.
Okay.
There was also the magic cloak and the token.
Yeah, there is a cloak and toque.
A cloak and toque?
Look, it's Willow, okay? I'm sorry. Will is the overlay right now. I'm sorry. There is a token cloak that allows you to basically cling to the walls and climb them.
Oh, nice.
Though I am very happy that I was able to pay my rent and support my shoe fetish, this is not how I planned on spending my Wednesday afternoon.
She nods. As I understand. This is a disturbing occurrence. These emissaries, as you call them, have become all too common sights in our city.
I have an answer for why that is, if you'll allow me.
She listens intently.
The reason why that is that Miss Webb has a very ill impact on Mr. Donati. Her actions are attracting the true Fae. They showed up tonight. They're sniffing it out like rabid dogs. They will descend upon us, knock down our doors, and we will all, excuse my expression, be royally and sincerely fucked.
I'm sorry, out of character. Is the head that you presented her with? This is some kind of true fae?
No,
No,
it's a loyalist.
Okay.
loyalist.
Okay.
I am not that cray baby. What the hell?
Has Miss Weft been made aware of the dangers of her actions?
Multiple times. I believe Mr. Maurice explained to her in rather large detail last night.
Maurice's jaw tightens, and he'll bow his head to the Queen. This instruction has been attempted by many people.
And she still does not understand the danger of what she's doing.
She had intended to have the children of High Saris Donati be courtless.
Well, though we do not choose the path of the courtless ourselves, we do understand that there are those who do not find the same solace within the courts as we do. Courtlessness is nothing troubling.
The act of courtlessness wasn't the problem. The problem was, instead of them remaining courtless, she wanted to bounce them from each court to get a balanced education. Something like that would draw the true Fae instantly. That kind of chaos.
It is too much like them to rule such out. It's true.
Although you are right, my queen, that normally it is not. Normally it's not a question so much when someone raises their children courtless. His Majesty bears a very strong point that must be considered. The children of someone who is such a large target as Sir Donati, to leave his children unwarded and without the protection of the courts and the warders would be, he'll shake his head, not something I would do. You know my daughter is tied into the courts.
It would be quite unwise. I would agree with that.
With the combination of actions of Miss Weft, there are unfavorable opinions about her bouncing around in the courts. Some say that she's coming off as a loyalist.
That is a very, very serious accusation.
And,
It's not being whispered, it's being outright spoken.
and with
I
such
respect.
a wonderful
Sorry.
target. Oh, sorry, let me just get this out.
Mhm.
with her being so deeply involved and invested with such a high target as Sarah Donati, it leads to a lot of questions.
I understand.
There's
Until,
more than. So,
yeah,
go ahead.
he's going to look to Kimberly and
There's been more than a few whispers. People have outright accused her of being a loyalist. More so since Sarah Donati's gentrified Baron. She kind of doesn't want to say it. They're basically, I wouldn't be surprised within a month or two there were riots looking for him. Riots and mobs.
Will raise his hand and he'll say, as a point, are you accusing Claudio of being a loyalist, or are you simply saying that he will be accused?
I'm saying the way the information is presenting itself, a very strong case could be made for it.
His jaw will tighten and he'll nod.
And if not a case for him, a case for his fiancée and a target on his back from the gentry, as we've seen tonight.
He maintained very serious injury. If it was not for Soren, she just kind of shakes her head.
The queen seems very deep in thought. And finally she'll say, this is all quite a great deal to think on. And I hate to disappoint you, but I don't believe that I will be able to make any sort of public decision without a great deal more information being gathered. Certainly not tonight.
I think he'll kind of look and he'll turn to Mir and he'll kind of lean into her and he'll begin to speak.
Okay.
Carefully. You can make me academics rolls if you want.
History?
Yeah, I'm gonna message you on Facebook.
Okay, babe.
Dante.
Okay. Is it wits or intelligence?
Wits.
Dropping one glamour into the dice pool. Oh boy. Oh boy.
I'll say that to her.
Okay. Enough. She nods.
I'm just gonna let you know Soren has 6 on intelligence academics.
Dante, try to have her say something at some point, not just make like motions.
You picked one of his power stats.
How many successes did you say you have, Soren?
6.
Is anybody else making a roll, or was it just Soren?
Yeah, could you
got
roll
one.
4
What was
dice? 4 dice? 4 dice plus a willpower, that's 3. 7 plus that Hearth contract is 11 dice.
Ooh, get it. She's trying hard for this shit. Let's get it.
There's your successes.
Oh
You
my
have
god.
4.
I see 4.
Are you typing a response, Dante?
No, she's just. I'm waiting. 'Cause
You're waiting for what?
I think he's
Alright.
waiting for all the rolls to.
Yeah, I only got
Come
one.
in.
basically, yeah.
It doesn't matter what they're rolling. Like,
Okay. She's going to.
huh?
She's thinking. Hang on.
Okay, that's fine.
She'll say, I think it's.
I have to give them the response for what the role was. Did she say anything back to Will while they were
No, she
speaking like
doesn't
that?
say anything back to him.
Okay. What the role was is, although you cannot understand them, and you realize, like, okay, you try to discern which language they're speaking to each other, and you realize that you can't because they're displaying cryptophagia. You know what that is out of game?
Are they just using a code language?
No, twin speak. Like it's like the twin speak, like twins speak to each other.
Okay.
Okay.
Something that probably no one else on Earth would understand.
Yeah, because it's
You
something
can't
that
really understand them because they're the only two that understand it.
Yeah.
But he'll basically lean in and he'll say that to her, and he'll back up and nod.
Okay. Wasting my 6 successes and shit.
Unfortunately, you are aware of the fact they're twins. Yes, in and out of game.
So yeah, she'll say, it is very important that we ascertain the truth of this situation. I'm going to have to decide how best to do this and how we will proceed. And given our concerns over Miss Weft's loyalties, well,
My question is, when she has her children, do we leave them in the care of someone we suspect could be a loyalist?
that is the business of the Spring Corps,
They look at Maurice.
or perhaps the Winter Corps.
The children, to my knowledge, will be warded to the Spring Court and raised with the instruction of Liam.
I would never take children from their mother, but
That is not something that we want to do.
I also don't want to see two children carted off to ferry.
Guarding them is one thing. Taking them, that's what they did.
Oh my God.
I see real quick. Johnny, that thing that you said was happened with Kim when she gets a plus,
Yep.
it's happening.
Okay. Oh my God, Mir, make me a composure roll. What's composure roll? And it's for Mir specifically, actually. Just-
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to assume her fucking roll is high. Like, just point that out.
Yeah. You're assuming correctly. Ugh, sorry. I got some rolls in here, and I'm sitting at 5 successes.
Okay, that's you can keep rolling if you want, but that's enough. The powers of death and the essence of death is hanging very strongly on Kim right now, suffusing her and flowing through her right now. It's strong enough to where it looks as though she's possessed by a ghost, or as though, but it doesn't have that tentacles dug into her thing.
Mm-hmm.
It has more of that. It's very strange, but it's growth actually. Like her energy is fostering it and sustaining it. But it is straight up death. Like this isn't no, it's death.
She's looking at her very curiously. Kind of staring at her, actually.
Will will lean over and he'll say, "It's rude to stare."
She doesn't seem to reply.
He'll pull back and snort at her.
Wow. She says, "I trust that you, my loyal friends, will let me know if things change or develop differently."
She'll nod her head. Yes.
Soren will also nod.
In the meantime, it may be necessary for us to remind her that Autumn is worthy of her respect. I thank you all very much for bringing these matters to my attention, and I wish to have... She looks to Maurice, and she says, "I wish you to convey to your king our willingness to work together to make this situation better."
Of course, my king.
She looks over at Will, and suddenly she seems very much like a child. "I'm tired."
Him too. It's been a long day.
She nods.
Ice cream and Cosmos?
She smiles.
He'll hold his arms out to her.
She'll come over and put her arms around him.
Stand up and pick her up. Have you seen Emily?
"Emily?"
She's gone missing again. I can't find her.
She looks around and says, "No, she's over there," and she points into a corner of the room.
He'll kind of walk over and pick her up.
Wait, is Emily actually there, or does Soren need to activate Shade and Spirit 1?
No, Emily is there. It's a doll. There's a doll in the corner.
Okay.
But you don't recall having seen Emily over there when you came in.
Oh boy.
He'll go and he'll pick Emily up. And he'll say, "Do I need to contact?" Or he'll say softly to her, "Do I need to contact? Who I think I need to contact?"
I don't think so.
Oh, he gets a disappointed look. You spoil all my fun.
She smiles.
And he'll carry her out.
Okay.
I take Maurice had something to tell Kim.
Mhm. He'll pull Kim to the side.
Kim will excuse herself. I'm sorry.
He'll just say, "Don't
She'll
worry,
walk.
won't eavesdrop, promise."
Maurice will just look at Soren and be like, whatever, do you. I have spoken to His Majesty and to Sarah Stenati about your inquiry. And while there's no title that we can offer you,
Mhm.
we can offer you the official goodwill of the Spring Court.
She'll shake her head. Okay. Thank you so much.
And he'll smile. And on a more personal note, I'm getting married in a little over a month. And
Congratulations.
the king and I both, we need to be dressed.
It'll be my honor.
He did like the one outfit from your collection, and I've looked. I have a few ideas.
Okay.
And Princess Bella will need a dress as well.
Mhm.
And we'll talk about your fashion show.
At your leisure.
And he'll smile.
Andreas is going to walk back in, and he's going to come to Kimberly.
Yes, sir.
Are you in the mood to kill a few people tonight?
What he said?
He said, are you in the mood to kill a few people tonight?
Yeah. She just looks at him blankly.
Come on, let's go. We got some men's fate to decide.
Sweet.
Maurice grins at the two of them and reaches into his pocket and pulls out a piece of paper. I have a list.
He'll take it. Are you sure? You want these men dead?
Just the first two. The other ones if you want to scare.
He'll kind of lift a brow. Really? Him? Oh, okay. Sure,
Just
yeah, why not?
scare. Just
No, like... I can remove limbs if you want. I know how to do that.
Out of character, bear in mind clarity rolls, please.
Clarity can be regained. What are you talking about?
Just saying.
I'm just saying, 7 ag is 7 ag.
Hey, I'm just saying, like, y'all keep acting like clarity's just a stat. RP that shit, motherfucker. This is why Soren's been really hard.
Clarity's not that high. No, but
Yeah, no, that motherfucker probably clarity 3 or some shit.
no, please. He's already he's not getting older. He's just slipping away. Yeah, he'll nod and he'll hold his arm out to Kimberly.
She'll take his arm.
We gotta do it at the prison in an hour. Let's go. He'll smile at him.
She'll give a polite smile back. Her smile becomes a little bit. It's not that soft. I'm a sweet girl kind of smile. It's that oh shit, I'm a killer smile.
And he'll bow to Maurice. Only solo though, because he's in his own court. Your Majesty. And he'll give Soren a nod of his head, like a polite nod of his head.
Soren will bow to Andreas as he leaves.
Soren, we should go for drinks later. It'll be fun.
Hell yeah. Or heck yeah. Looks at Queen Mia.
Mirror's already gone.
Okay, that's fine.
Directions you went, I guess. Yeah.
It's
So,
like,
do we end our scene there, or do we have anything else to do?
No, we can end it.
Okie dokie. So, thank you players for playing, and thank you watchers for watching. There you go.